Okay, we're here. We're here. It's your pal. It's your buddy Bruce here. Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to the big show here, everybody. Nice to see you. It's Monday, July the 15th, 2024. And greetings to all of you from Calgary, Alberta, here in Canada. Thank you. Let me just mute that. We just finished yesterday the annual Calgary Stampede, the big rodeo outdoor show, state fair, all that stuff you folks in America are used to. Thank you all for joining us today. Gorgeous day today, sunny, low 80s, very nice, and we're good. I behaved myself this stampede. I didn't go out there and run around like a wild cowboy. I just did my work on my channels, and it's all good. Thank you all for popping in. Jennifer has returned from her annual camping getaway with her sister and brother-in-law, and we're doing just fine. We are now gearing up here. We have about 5.5 weeks to go, or 5 weeks to go, and we're traveling. We're heading to New York. Going to catch the Queen Mary 2 and sail across the Atlantic, head to London, or Southampton, I should say, and sail around the UK for 12 days, catch up with Donnell in Ireland, and then we're going to end up in London for a few weeks, and then we fly over to Switzerland, and we're going to stay in Switzerland for a little bit, and then back to Hamburg, Germany, for a few days, and we're going to catch the Queen Mary 2 and sail her back to New York. So we're going across the Atlantic both ways on the same ship. All gearing up for that. Hopefully I'll be able to broadcast to you. We're going to try live. We don't know how it'll work out. I have already pre-purchased the internet package for the ship so I can work both my channels. And we'll just see how it works out. Got a bunch of recording to do, and we'll fill you in on what life is like on board the Queen Mary 2 and what's happening in Europe. Thank you all for your support of this channel. Thank you for the thumbs ups that you guys give this channel every week. It's amazing how many come in for the audience size. I appreciate this so much. And Jen says hello, passes on her best regards to all of you from around the world. Say hi to us. Tell us what's your high temperature these days. What's the price of gas where you live? And say hi to everybody and hit the thumbs up if you can. That would be just terrific. Thank you all. Sharon saying number 3, but I can't stick around because I've got a ton of work right now, but I have a great week. Sharon, thank you. And the author is busy narrating his next Mike Stoneman novel, Double Takedown. Stephen Butler is here. Number 4, I just finished reading Mike Stoneman thriller Deadly Enterprise by author Kevin Chapman. An exciting read. I am not reading the books in the order they were written in. Tom Henry, hello everybody from Richmond. I think he's in Richmond. Daniel Fields, hello everybody. How you doing there, pal? Robert, good evening everybody. Donnell from Ireland, good evening Bruce and everybody. I'm number 5 tonight on the thumbs up meter. Looking forward to another TWB show. Glad I could join you all live. Only 5 weeks to go now, Bruce and Jen, and you are headed out. That's right, we can't wait. Well, at least I can't wait. I'm excited. Jen is enjoying the summer here, but I can't wait to get going. Robert, hopefully your shows will still be on. Oh, I hope so. Jeff Dynan, good day, Bruce, and TWB channel number 10 here on the thumbs up meter, and we're at 12 degrees Celsius. I believe in Melbourne, Australia, where this is coming from. Ms. M, hello, Bruce. Number 10, thumbs up. We're high 20s in Maple Ridge right now, Celsius. Daniel, thumbs ups to you, sir. Shamai, Sudwiki, I can't pronounce it. Hello, I'm number 13. Well, welcome. Ms. M. Gasseron, buck 80 a liter right now. Donnell, hello there, Tom. Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel. Hi, Bruce and TWB family. Kirk from New York City is here and at work eating dinner right now. Right on, Kirk. Good to see you, pal. Nice to have you here. Glad you could join us, too. Wonderful stuff. I've got a bit of news for you today, and then I have a bit of a list of stuff to go over with you on, just some stuff. But a quick recap. We got an email the other day from Switzerland. Unfortunately, our reservations at our preferred resort that we were going to stay at this hotel that we had booked in Zermatt they sent us an email on Saturday afternoon apologizing to us that our reservation cannot be honored by the hotel because of the flooding that you may have heard about a month ago. There was some serious flooding in parts of the Swiss Alps, and Zermatt definitely was affected. And apparently, the resort hotel that we're going to is closed because of flood damage, water damage, and they will not be reopened until December. This is a 6-month shutdown, and you can imagine a summer season being lost at the height of the summer season. All the way to December, they are closed, and so they couldn't. They can't house us because the entire facility is shut down. I hope nothing but the best for them over there. In the meantime, it has now thrown Jen and I a bit off course, and we now have to decide what is our next course of action, because we were going to be there for the entire stay in Zermatt. And what we're doing now actually is sometimes you get lemonade and you get lemons and you turn into lemonade. And so what we're thinking about now is in the next few days, we're going to nail down a new itinerary for this time frame that we had for Zermatt. And we might not even go to Zermatt this year. We may end up skipping it this time around, and we may end up taking a train from Zurich, where we are going to start our trip from. When we come out of London, we land there. We might just take a train to Geneva and spend some time there, and perhaps Lucerne. But the other thought we had was we have almost 2 weeks of time, and I said to Jen that, I'm actually thinking about the idea that we would take a train ride after we spend some time in Geneva. We will keep going south, and we will head all the way to Nice in France, and then work our way east a little bit to Monaco. And I was thinking I might just find a way for us to spend 3 or 4 nights in Monte Carlo. And never been there overnight before. I've only been there for a few hours on a ship tour visit. Found it very enjoyable. And of course, I've had a bucket list wish to spend some time there. And I'm thinking, maybe this is the one. This is the time to take this in. So I've got some research to do now as to where we would stay and how and what. I know it's expensive. There's no doubt about that. But it wouldn't be for weeks on end. It'd be a few days. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't know. We may end up there. We may not. And then we got to figure our way up to back to Zurich, because we have a flight from Zurich to Hamburg. So we're going to do some digging here in the next 48 hours and figure out finalize our itinerary now that this cancellation has been thrown our way. No fault of the resort. Mother Nature had a torrential downpour, and the Zermatt area really got hit, along with other alpine towns and villages in that region. And so damage is worse than obviously I had heard. And there you go. You never know with this stuff. Anyway, that's some of the latest info there. Thank you, Kirk, for being here. Robert Blend here. Hello from hot Boston right now. Number 10, thumbs up, going on a Princess Cruise from Boston to Eastern Canada, including Halifax. It should be a bit cooler for you. Tom Henry, hey there, Donnell, howdy. Tom Henry, and hello, Kirk Brunson. Sharon, Stephen, thank you for reading the book. Appreciate it very much. Right on. Thank you, everybody. News today. I found one piece of news today that I wanted to talk to you about, and I was going to expand on it a bit. Maybe give you a little more detail behind it, because this story, you could read about this story in like a headline and go, oh, well, that's interesting, and then just kind of leave it at that. But there's a lot behind this headline that I thought I would mention, because I kind of like to talk about the state of the industry, the cruise business as a business, and the trends and the direction that it's going and where we're headed versus where we've been. Of course, you know that my first ever experience on on a ship, was on an ocean liner, and this was the first cruise ship I was ever on. It's an ocean liner that was known as the Homeric from Home Lines. I was on this ship in 1962, and I took this ship from Bremerhaven, which would be near Hamburg, Germany, all the way, I believe, to Montreal. If I'm not mistaken, we ended up in Montreal. And once in Montreal, the family, mom and dad, and my sister and I, we got on a CP, Canadian Pacific rail car and train, and we ended up ending up in Toronto, and that's where the end of our trip was. So we went from Hamburg to, there we go, you can see it better there. We went from Hamburg, Germany, all the way to Toronto, Canada, six days, and on this ship, and I still have memories of it, and I was 6, going on 7. I was 6.5, and I still have memories of it. That was the first time I've been on a ship. Now, back in those days, when these kinds of ships were plying the Atlantic, by the time we got on this ship in '62, the ocean liner business was under tremendous stress because of the invention and the delivery of a brand new aircraft that was now being delivered to airlines across the world, and that was known as the Boeing 707, and it became the world's most popular 4-engine airplane at that time. 1959, that plane started coming out, and by 1960, 61, 62, here, the Boeing 707 was being turned out at the Boeing factory. I don't know what the production numbers were per month or whatnot, but they were ramping up production because they had orders for hundreds of these, and they completely changed the world. And the 707 and eventually other like DC-8s and other versions of 4-engine jets destroyed the transatlantic ocean going business. And by the time 1968-69 arrived, the Queen Mary, the Queen Elizabeth, for Cunard were out of business forever. All the other cruise lines like these guys were done for. They had long scattered their ships elsewhere, and that even included one ship that you are familiar with in the movies. Those of you out there who've seen the movie An Affair to Remember with Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr, that movie was based on an ocean crossing on the ship known as the Constitution, and that ship sailed until the late '60s across the ocean, but eventually it also ended up as it got mothballed for a while, then was brought back and was sailing around the Hawaiian Islands for 1 week at a time back in the '80s and early '90s, and then eventually that ship and her sister ship, the Independence, were done for. Economically could not compete any longer. Just not enough people to pay the passageway, and the ships were, as you know, now represented by brand new cruise ships that Carnival started to produce in the mid '80s, late '90s, and eventually, of course, the modern day version of cruise ships is what we have now. Now here we are, fast forwarding now to 2000 and 2020. I mean, has the cruise industry gone through gyrations since 2000? Oh my God. 2001, all businesses in the United States were given a major shock when the attacks took place in New York and Washington. That took a while to recover. Cruise lines died during '01 and '02, and others merged together to survive. Huge shakeup of the industry. For some folks, it was a bad thing to happen. For some folks, it was great, and for some, it was not so great. It was for the cruise lines that needed to survive. They found partners to partner up with, and strength in numbers kept them alive. Unfortunately, for passengers out there who used to find really great cruise deals, last-minute getaway cruises, those days quickly came to an end because, of course, when you take Princess Cruise Lines and Carnival Cruise Lines and Holland America and Cunard, all of those are independently operated cruise lines from each other. Now they're all one underneath the umbrella of Carnival. You're not going to have on the same day two Carnival brand cruise ships leave Los Angeles for Hawaii, or two ships from the same brand go to Mexico and back on virtually identical itineraries. Those days are over. Now the Princess ship might go to Hawaii from Long Beach, California, or from say Los Angeles on a Monday, and on the Friday there might be a Hall America ship going to Hawaii on that day. And so you don't have competing days with the same ships. There's no fight for last minute passengers between cruise lines anymore. And so for cruise deal seekers, that really changed things dramatically. Now going forward, here we are now in 2024, and what's happening now? We have cruise lines recovering from the COVID debacle. What a mess. All cruise lines who tried to survive COVID, and not all of them did. We lost a few cruise lines. But those that survived were heavily in debt to do so. They had to keep their ships maintained in mint condition. They had to be ready at a moment's notice to accept passengers again. And the cruise lines had to be able to fly crews to the ships to get crews back on board the ship. A logistical nightmare came through in 21 and 2022. However, here we are now in 2024. The problem now for cruise lines, one of them is inflation, like everyone else is facing, and the second one is higher interest rates. And with higher interest rates, that means higher operating costs. And if you've noticed lately, the price of a barrel of crude is now $81 a barrel, not 70 or 60, and that means fuel prices are inching a little bit higher. So for the cruise lines, they're getting hit from all angles. The other area that they're getting hit from is that more and more ports that cruise lines would like to go to are making it more expensive to come in. They're charging a head tax for every passenger coming in. And this has to be added to the fare of a cruise. Food costs, labor costs, you name it, it's all higher, higher, and higher. And of course, to build brand new ships costs a lot more money today than they did 5 and 10 and 20 years ago. It's just a fact of life. So cruise lines are trying to come up with ways to combat the mighty dollar and hold on to as many pennies as they can from every dollar they generate in revenue. And some of the ways, as you are very familiar, is higher prices for fares, or higher tipping charges, higher daily tipping fees for the rooms, higher onboard costs, more expensive tours, excuse me, all of that sort of stuff. The restaurant game has changed dramatically, where we used to all go into the main dining room at either 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or at 4:45 and 6:45, whatever dinner times there were. That has been eviscerated, and now we see cruise ships with 10 different restaurants on board, and 8 of them are extra. They're additional to your cruise. They're not even included in your cruise anymore. And so more and more passengers have grown up with the fact that they don't expect the cruise to be an all-in package anymore. They actually expect to pay extra for many, many features that those of us who are older, used to get as part of our cruise deal. But on the dining side, it used to all be in the main dining room, and the menu was unbelievable with no extra charges. Now we have surcharges even in main dining rooms, and of course we now have specialty restaurants. And another area that has really started to show up is in the last 15, 20 years, cruise lines did the most ingenious thing they could have ever done. And they followed the example of Disney and others to produce and build private island getaways for their passengers, because they were running into a number of problems, one of which was this constant issue of robberies, passengers being dropped off in downtown areas of various locations, and having to run into the local gauntlet of hucksters trying to sell them from everything, you name it. And shady tour operators undercutting the cruise line's tour price, but using 25-year-old buses with no air conditioning, windows that didn't work, cracked windshields, drivers that weren't licensed, on and on. And we've had deaths, literally passengers die in accidents because of poorly maintained vehicles. And I mean, the list just goes on and on. But with these private islands, what we've had now are cruise lines who've really wised up. And Royal Caribbean is on the cutting edge of this area. They are absolutely on top of this. They have now figured out, you know what? Why don't we build Coco Key, put in there one of the most luxurious and wonderful facilities for our passengers to enjoy. We can give them pools to swim at. We can give them umbrellas around the pool. We can rent them cabanas. We can rent them floating houses. We can offer them higher upgrades for dining and drinking. We can also host weddings and receptions. We have a water park at this place for the kids. We're talking an adult only area. We got it all. We've got everything here that is in-house, only for the use of our customers and no one else. And this way, moms and dads feel safer with their kids here. Honeymoon couples have a way to enjoy this area, whether they want to just lie on the beach during the day, or whether they want their own mini cabana or not. There's just so many angles that the cruise line can go with here. Plus, they control all aspects of the running of this property. The staffing is all Royal Caribbean trained staff. Every employee in that facility has been vetted. They're paid a good dollar. The turnover rate of staff is probably extremely low. Once you get a job here, you don't want to quit. And there are management upgrades opportunities. And so it makes a lot of sense for Royal Caribbean to have a place like this, for their 1 or 2 ships a day to come in. The money that flows between the customer and the cruise line is all controlled through the onboard ship accounts. A lot of these charges can be pre-charged to the passenger's cabin, to their cabin account before they even get here. So this is a brilliant way of a cruise line to enhance revenue. And something else, the fact is that this location, Coco Key, is how many miles from Miami are we talking about here? We're talking maybe 130 to 150 nautical miles from Miami, Florida. This is not going to require an 800-mile journey to get here and an 800-mile journey to get back. This island is accessible in no time, and this means that these behemoth cruise ships that gobble up gazillions of gallons of fuel to power and move through the seas, they're here for an entire day. They'll get here at 6 in the morning, let people off at 8, 9 in the morning, whatever the time is, until 8 or 9 at night. And the ship then will just surround the island about 5 miles, 10 miles off at shore in international water, turning on their casinos and letting the slot machines make them some extra dough. This is brilliant. Now, today, the headline that I was alluding to came out. It's a Utopia of the Seas. This is the new, this monster ship right here. It's the second largest ship that is now operated by Royal Caribbean. The Oasis class, I think the 6th one. The Utopia of the Seas is going to be working out of Port Canaveral. And they have now offered a cruise in February of 2025, which sounds like a long time from now, but actually is 7 months from now. They're going to launch a cruise out of Port Canaveral. And this ship, with all of its amenities and all of its toys and all of its features, is going on, I believe, a series of 5-day cruises. That's all these are, 5-day cruises. And wouldn't you know it, 2 of the 5 days will be spent right here at Coco Key. So you can imagine getting on this ship with your children, for example, if you're a mom and dad with a couple of kids. Oh my goodness. You get on the ship and you have a sea day. Then the next day you end up here in Coco Key. Then you go back on the ship, and the next day you might be in Nassau, because apparently Nassau is going to be part of the itinerary with its new downtown facility. And then on the next day, you're back to Coco Key. You're right back here again for another full day on this island. And then you return to Port Canaveral on day 5. Just think about how much less fuel this cruise ship is going to use up by only sailing to Nassau and Coco Key from Port Canaveral. The engines on this ship are going to be spared a lot of wear and tear. The propeller blades, the entire ship's mechanicals. This ship will be spending more time idling than running. Now, obviously, coming into Port Canaveral and eventually downtown Nassau, I'm sure will have shore to ship power. That's only a matter of time. There won't be shore to ship power at Coco Key because there is no power plant there. It's just their own little island. So they're going to have to keep their engines running down there. But the rest of this time in Port Canaveral and Nassau, the ship can turn its engines off. So the amount of fuel that Royal Caribbean is saving, moving 6,000 to 7,000 potential people to these ports, a mere 50 to 80 miles off the coastline of Miami. This is massive. This is how cruise lines now are going to be thinking going forward. They're going to take a certain proportion of their cruise lines, their ships. They're going to designate them as island hoppers only and private island hopping only. Because every dollar spent on Coco Key is Royal Caribbean dollars. And they pay a tax to the Bahamian government, oh sure. But the rest of that action, all those drinks they're charging for and everything else, and some of these $1,000 a day and up floating or over the water homes, top dollar. It's all going to Royal Caribbean. Absolutely Royal Caribbean. Brilliantly done. If they were taking the ship to various countries in the Caribbean, the passengers would get off. Some would just walk around in the downtown areas that they're being dropped off at, and whatever money they spend, Royal Caribbean gets none of it. Other passengers will go on some tours, but Royal Caribbean gets a percentage, but not the entire amount. Fair enough. But here, the entire enchilada. And I can see where a wedding party would absolutely book a ton of rooms on this kind of a cruise ship right here. I can see this making a lot of sense. You would have a wedding party of 40, 50, 100 people booking rooms on this ship. You could have the ceremony on board the ship if you have inclement weather at Coco Key. If Coco Key is just fine weather-wise, then you can have the onboards, the wedding ceremony on a beach right here, and you can have the reception in one of the buildings here with the catering all done. This makes a ton of sense. For the bride and groom, they're going to have a lovely suite on board the ship, perhaps, and they'll enjoy their honeymoon there. But boy, this makes a lot of sense if you're thinking of having a wedding kind of a scenario, and having the Royal Caribbean be your host for it. This makes a ton of sense. And of course, for the wedding party, think about it. If it's a 5-day cruise, it's not a 10-day cruise. It's a 5-day cruise. For those in the wedding party that don't have big money, they're able to get an inside room or a basic balcony room, and they get to still enjoy these facilities as part of this vacation and celebration. It's a win-win for everybody. I can see this making a lot of sense. Well, there's the story there. That headline about the Utopia of the Seas going to Coco Key 2 days out of a trip is an interesting headline, and sort of says a lot, but it doesn't really reveal the big picture. And I can see behind the scenes where Norwegian will go to their private islands, Carnival to theirs. They're developing their new resort in near Freeport. This is a big deal. MSC is redoing their existing island. I think they're adding more features to it to enhance the business there. Disney just opened up their second onshore private getaway island. Yeah, this is the area they're going for the American, let's say, based cruiser, and for the couple that want to get away but can't get away for 2 weeks. They're both working. Maybe the kids are going to be dropped off with grandma and grandpa and mom and dad getaway, or it is a family vacation, or it is a family reunion vacation, 5-nighter on board the ship in this example, and then maybe 3 days at Disney World in Orlando or something like that. Yeah, there I can see that making a lot of sense. Okay, let's just double check with some comments. Make sure I'm caught up with everybody. Thank you all saying hi to me. Rocky is here saying hi, Bruce and other TWB folks. We are in Chesapeake, Virginia. The feel like temperature today reached 114 degrees. It's 109 now with the real temperature 91. There's humidity there. Gasoline $3.39 a gallon. I'm the number 15. Thumbs up. Susan R. Hello everybody. I'm number 21. Kirk, I'm the 22nd. Thumbs up for you, buddy. Thank you, my friend. Hi there, Tom from Kirk. Tom, what is crazy is sending that huge ship out for just 3 or 4 day cruises. Seems like a great way to have it run into the ground quick. All the work for sales to fill that thing. Well, like I say, it's a way to maximize the revenue of this ship because you are talking about the possibility of up to 70 cruises a year on this ship. Now, I agree with you. If they were to do 10-day cruises, you'd only have 35 of them a year. And the wear and tear of getting on, getting off, getting on, getting up, I understand that. But on the other hand, if you can pull 5,000 to 7,000 passengers a week on a 5-day cruise, I can see where the casino on board this ship will be hopping crazy because there's only so many days to gamble in the evenings. Other amenities will be extra charge. They'll have folks spending money freely on board. You got the 2 island days locked up, so you got 90% of the money going to you. A little bit going into Nassau because you're stopping there, but the rest of it is all on board this ship. And so, they probably do I know they're doing the numbers. We know they're doing the numbers. And you got to imagine they figured out the cost to run this cruise ship for every 100 miles that you sail it in waters. If you can cut back 1,000 miles a cruise, maybe that's 100,000 a cruise or 200,000 a cruise less in expenses. I don't know. I just curious because a 10-day cruise, you're expected to go somewhere. I mean, you're not going to get on a ship out of Miami, go to Nassau, and stay at sea for 8 or 9 days and come back to Miami. I mean, a 10-day cruise, you better be going to various spots in the Caribbean. We're here a 5-day quickie. Everyone will buy into the notion that, yeah, we're getting on the ship in Port Canaveral and we're heading south and east a little bit. Warm tropical water the whole time, aqua blue, beach life, safe as can be, no panhandlers to worry about. Kids can run around the water park all they want. I see that making sense. I wonder for maybe people my age, Tom Henry's age and others, maybe we would like a little more of an excursion, a little more of a trip on a ship. But then you're going to have to take a 7-day, a 10-day, a 12-day cruise. And you'll end up perhaps in Barbados, perhaps all the way down to the ABC Islands, or a partial Panama Canal cruise, something like that. But that's going to run you more, no doubt about it. Anyway, yeah, it is interesting. A brand new ship, brand new, being used for 5-day cruises as a starter. I find that fascinating. But their mathematics must add up. It must add up to the point where they understand, no, this is the most, the biggest income generator we can do for this ship is to make it a 5-day itinerary ship for now. Maybe, I guess. Anyway, interesting. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about today was I saw an article that was out a little while ago, and I've touched on this topic from time to time, but putting it into the modern, up to date context, 2024 now, bringing this right to you for 2024. There's an article out there called 11 Reasons Why Cruise Passengers Don't Get Off Cruise Ships when they come into port. And they run the gamut. One of the reasons is there's no waiting in line. If you're going to get off a cruise ship and you want to go to, I remember Jennifer Jr. and I, we were on the Norwegian Jade ship, and we did a Caribbean cruise. We left Southampton and went all the way into the Mediterranean, and we loved it. We really enjoyed it. It was fine, but we do remember certain things about the cruise when we sort of reminisce about it, and you put it out of your mind pretty quickly. One of them is this image right here. This can be an image where you get off a cruise ship and you go about your whatever you're going to do. You do some tours, walk around, and you're coming back and you're in line to get back on the ship because you've got to go through security lines. Or you get off of these ships and you're now amongst passengers from another ship, and you realize, oh my God, we've got 3,000, they've got 4,000 or 7,000 of us scrambling everywhere. Kids who are cranky and well behaved or not well behaved, all kinds of hucksters everywhere. It's mayhem. It's complete freaking mayhem. Here's a shot of a port that I do recall fondly, and also with a bit of I'm not sure how to say it. There was good and bad about this port. This is the port of Naples in Italy. The port in Naples, Italy. And that building there, I'm not sure how old it is, but I'm guessing it's from the 40s and 50s. I wonder how many millions of people have gone through that building that have left Italy forever to come to America, and or have returned to Italy. And or cruise ship passengers. How many have gone through this thing? In any event, these port facilities are jam-packed with buses spewing the diesel everywhere. There's taxi lines everywhere. Complete chaos. And I'll tell you, staying on board a cruise ship and not getting off at a port, sometimes it's just a great way to go, because you avoid all this human army of logistics that has to be overcome. It's insanity. While you're on the ship, by the way, and everyone is gone, that means no one's in the pool. Now, I will admit, there are times you're on a cruise ship, and yet there are still people by the pool. But this, of course, is a solarium pool here on a Royal Caribbean ship. So I believe it's adult only anyway. But take a look at this photo here. Here's a sea day. Look at this photo here. You've got people everywhere. Every lounger has got a towel on it or is being used. You got the pools with people going everywhere, the hot tubs with people. Then you got the water slides and the noise and the music and the racket. Of course, this is modern day cruising. What do you want? Here you go at the back of one of these Oasis ships, the Wave Runner, and you got the mini golf and lots of action. This is an action-oriented ship for sure. But if you're you're on a regular cruise ship and everyone's at the port, here's a typical day at St. Thomas. If you have a ship here and everyone is, almost everyone's off the ship, those pools are all for you, and all the facilities are yours. Nothing wrong with that. You know what else though? Sometimes you get to a port and basically what you say to yourself is, you know what, I've been there, I've done that, I'm going to get off the ship, and if my wife and I are going to walk around or just hang out a little bit, get a little walk in, guess what we're going to get hit with right off the bat? We're going to get hit with these shops, and these stores are at every port, all the same operators, all the same brands, and there are no deals. The so-called idea of getting a discount somewhere, good luck with that. You've been there, done that, and do you really want to go through this again? Maybe not a reason to get off the ship. And or the other question is, and the other reality is, maybe the port just isn't that interesting. Maybe you've been to St. Thomas before, and the first time you went up the cable car here and you took a photo, but the second time you came, there were three or four or five cruise ships in port. In this case, there are five. Can you see all five cruise ships here? Three in front of you. There's a big one in the background, and then to the right of that big one back there is another one. There are five cruise ships in St. Thomas. And if you've already done an island tour, do you really need to get off the ship and do another one? What is it you want to really see and do? Do you want to walk for 2 miles along the downtown area, or jostle for a cab, or what have you? Sometimes the ports just aren't all that interesting. It's supposed to be a relaxation day. Of course, let me rephrase it. A cruise, generally speaking, is supposed to be like this. This is really what a cruise is about. It's about getting a break and getting away from the normal and unwinding and not getting wound up. Now, of course, if you've got children, I apologize. You are stuck. You probably, however, will have known in advance that, we got the kids with us. We're going to set up activities that keep these kids engaged and entertained. And so if we go to the Cayman Islands, you know what we'll do? We'll go in where all the we'll go here to Stingray City, but be ready, be prepared for being in Stingray City, being surrounded by 100 to 300 other people at Stingray City. So you're going to have to buy into this. Now, this is still a fun experience, but if one of your kids is a bit squeamish about it, you might be the one parent stuck on the boat sitting with the kid because the kid won't get in the water. And, maybe mom or dad and the other child do go in the water. You never know. You have to take your chances. But other things to remember about a port day is sometimes the prices on board a ship are cheaper during port days. So if you were thinking about getting a massage, for a sea day, the massage is going to run you $150. On a port day, it's $80 or $90. You might be convinced to do something like that. It's always something to think about. It can be budget friendly to stay on a cruise ship. There's no doubt about that. If you're just going to ride the water slides, or play with your kids in the pool, or throw a basketball around and not go on shore, hang out by the pool and read a book, you're saving money. There's no question. The moment you get off a cruise ship and you're getting on one of these guys right here and you're going for a tour, and I know, if it's a party of four, mom and dad and two kids, you could be dropping $300 very easily on an outing for 6 hours. Whereas if you stayed on the ship and enjoyed the amenities, that's 300 you didn't spend. For some people, it prices no object. Whatever it takes, we go. But for others, it might be too much. There's lots to do on board the ship. When you're on board the ship, if you're only down to 10% of the number of people on board all of these amenities, they're all yours to enjoy. There really won't be very much in the way of lineups. There could well be trivia shows, could be a movie playing. There could be, of course, roller skating or ice skating on some of these ships, and very few lineups for something like that. All kinds of things to enjoy as well. Oh, this also is a day, believe it or not. This is the kind of day where you stay on board the ship and you take photos of the ship you're on, because you've been, you know that when you go home, you're going to want to show your parents and your friends. If you're on that Disney ship there at the front of this picture, or you're on board the second ship, which I think is the Epic for Norwegian, and then that third ship over there is a Carnival ship, you may find that you are going to take hours, a couple of hours, exploring the entire ship with only 10-15% of the passengers on board, getting all kinds of photos of different areas of the ship without being in anyone else's way. And that could well be a very good thing to be doing. The other thing to remember, look, if you're not down here, and if you're not down here, and you're not over there, or or over there, or over there. You're not one of those folks. You're on board a cruise ship. And if you've got a drink package, you can get to the bar right away, and the bartender is all yours. That is an upside. If you've got a drink package, the drink package might be the perfect package to have on a port day, because all of these folks who are ordering their cocktails and drinks when they're on a sea day with you, they're in front of you. Now they're not in front of you. You've got 6-8 hours of bliss to enjoy that drink package. Little things, you see. Getting on and off the ship. The hassle of this. Oh my God. These are the tenders in the Cayman Islands, Grand Cayman. That's right downtown. You can't take a cruise ship and walk on and walk off the ship in the Cayman Islands. You have to take the tenders, and some of them are 2 stories. And oh no, no, no! I tell you, I cringe when I have to take a tender, because I have that queasy stomach, and I'm just not happy about that. So yeah, I'd far prefer to do this, walk on and walk off, rather than be one of those. And also all the hordes that you have to navigate, quite insane. Anyway, there's 11 reasons why passengers don't get off ships. The one, of course, that I'll bring back to is this idea of not paying for a tour, not being on this kind of a tour. Because some of these cruises, especially in the Caribbean, in the Mediterranean, you may find that you're on a 7-day cruise or a 10-day cruise, and you've got 6 stops out of 7 days or 8 stops out of 10, and you have the possibility of doing a tour for 6 or 7 days on a cruise, and each tour per person can run you $100 to $300 a person, depending on how elaborate they are. And for some folks, they tally up their money spent at the end of a cruise, and they realize, you know what, I spent more money doing tours than cruising. I was on a cruise to kind of enjoy myself and relax and enjoy the sea air and all that. I spent thousands with my wife and I on these tours. It is something to consider. It is economically very viable to be on a cruise ship if you don't get off the ship. Or get off the ship and just walk around town. If you're going to be in Madrid, get off the ship and grab the subway line, which is just off the port. There's a subway line. Head into downtown Madrid and walk around. Or splurge for a cab and spend your $10-15 or whatever. And do not take a $300 tour, a $150 tour. Just enjoy, but make sure you hide your wallet and your possessions and don't get pickpocketed, especially if you're in Naples. Be careful, or downtown Rome. Be on guard. This is why, again, coming back to cruise ships and their islands, why do you think these islands are so popular? You're not going to get, you don't have to worry about carrying cash with you on a private island. It's just charge it to my room. Charge it to my room. You got your wristband on, charge it. No cash changes hands. Talk about easy peasy and worry-free. Makes a lot of sense. Anyway, there's a couple of thoughts there. What are your thoughts? Any questions? Let me know. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's see. Robert, I've been to that island. Beautiful and relaxing at the end of my last cruise. Big update from Nassau. Mike Hood, number 25 from Tennessee tonight. Gas $2.95 a gallon. Thank you, Mike. Number 24 from Tennessee. Ms. M. Nice is my favorite. Nice is my favorite. Love the market, crepes, soap, and all the history of Nice. Debbie Manuel is here. Hello, Debbie. Hi, everyone. Sorry I have to zip out now, but I've enjoyed the show as usual. And Donnell, hi, Debbie. Have a great week. Donnell, reason number 12, you might be late back to the ship and be a pier runner. That's true. If you're not part of the tour, you got that right. Lunch is free on the ship, by the way. Laughing out loud. There you go. The spa thermal area will be good and empty. That's right. You want to get into a hot tub or the various pools on board. You walk around, find out the pool that's the quietest, and enjoy. Abso-darn-lutely. For those who are, you're on a balcony, you're in a balcony cabin as it is, and your ship is on the shady side of a hot day, you might be out on your own balcony just reading a book or checking your emails if you got an internet account. Whatever you're doing, just relaxing. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have cooking classes on board these ships, and other times you'll have a behind the scenes tour, a behind the scenes kitchen tour, down below deck tour on dock days, on port days, and that might be the perfect time to take one of those on board tours. Bring your camera, take photos, enjoy. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, lots of reasons to consider not even getting off the ship. After all, it's only a week. Can't you go on shore anytime the rest of your life? Of course, if you've done a Caribbean cruise before, or two, or three, what are you going to see now in Cozumel you haven't seen before? What are you going to see now in downtown Nassau? What haven't you noticed? The Starbucks are all there. The senior frogs are all there. The entrepreneurs are all there. You really want to be exposed to that, or did you want to get away for a relaxing vacay and enjoy yourself? Get your maximum dollar enjoyment from your cruise line, and wander up to the buffet and have a coffee or a cup of tea or a little piece of cake, a little nosh, and then wander around the rest of the ship again and just enjoy and succumb to a bratwurst at the pool deck or a slice of pizza, or find that soft serve ice cream machine and help yourself. Throw a few basketballs, whatever. Discover another way. Yeah. There you have it. There's the show. That's my show today. I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I appreciate you visiting with me. Looking forward to keeping you updated on our travels. We are out of here in about 5 weeks. It's coming up awful fast. Thank you today for so far 29 thumbs ups that have come through. Appreciate that. It all helps. If you're watching on the rerun, everybody, thank you for helping out with the thumbs ups as well. And I love getting those alerts when you folks say hi to me on the comment area and you let me know what number you are on the thumbs up meter. It's absolutely fabulous. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Larry, hi there. Number 29. What do you think of the Bright Line? I haven't taken the Bright Line, but I understand that it is constantly being, the talk is to upgrade it and to expand it. And I'm very happy about that. I'm very impressed that the city of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, along with of course the area of the international airport, all the way to Orlando, they are getting their act together to having this entire line be functional for the entire length of that distance. I think that's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I would love to think that I believe it's the line between. There's a line being built or proposed to be built between Los Angeles and Vegas, and it's private enterprise. It's not government done. It's being privately done. I'm hoping that will really happen in the next 5 years, that there's a real progress there, because the rail line between Los Angeles and San Francisco has been a debacle. It's being done in sections, and they're starting from the middle out because of all the land disputes and all the environmental crap that's going on. The tree huggers in California, oh, it's just terrible. Who knows if they'll ever get anything like that completed. Michael, thank you. Michael Can, great info. Thank you, my friend. Tom, Larry, Blake, I have a number of times. I've been on a number of times. I love it. I went from MCO to Miami and back for a cruise last November and December. Tom Henry, I do the premium and I love the lounge too. How about that? Roger, just left Glacier Bay National Park. That would be Alaska. Right on, Roger. Enjoying that cruise. I hope it's going well for you. It sounds great. Robert, great show again. Did a wine tasting class on the Sea Day on my last MSC Seaside cruise in May. How about that? Little wine tasting day. Nothing wrong with that. After the wine tasting's over, head to your room and lie down for a while. Get ready for dinner. Make sure to drink a lot of water. It's all good. It's all good. Fantastic, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. take care of yourselves. Be healthy. Stay healthy. Enjoy the summer weather, but don't overdo it. Stay cool where it's too hot. And we'll catch up with you next Monday, and we'll see what's going on. We'll keep you posted on our upcoming travels as we endure these last minute changes. We'll figure it out, and we'll keep you posted on how it's going. Have a good one in the meantime. Thanks for your support. Thanks for the thumbs ups, everybody. And we'll see you next Monday right here from Calgary in Canada. All the best to all of you. Bye for now.